I'm Dani Gurry, and you've tuned in to Good Morning Frederick. It's a podcast, well, about Frederick. Everything, the people, the businesses, the nonprofits, and the cool stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Good Morning Frederick. Good morning, Frederick. Today is Wednesday, July 24th. I'm your host, Dani Gurry. Well, first of all, we're not streaming to Everything Frederick and More. I'm going to try to reattach that stream. This is why YouTube is so much better than Facebook. But we are on other 6 Facebook pages, so hopefully you guys will find it and figure out where to watch. I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much. We got to 225 pairs of shoes. I have 4 pair I know arriving on Sunday, and I got a few extra donations last night, which I will be spending today. I want to thank Jason Meck. That was awesome, man. Really, really appreciate it. Tina, Simone, my cousin Kim, my Aunt Doreen, Eve, Kathy, Rudy, Karen, Rob, and Diana. Look, just a phenomenal showing, plus all the people that donated this whole time, not only with shoes, but also with cash donations to help me get to my 225, and maybe I will definitely hit 230, maybe 234 if I'm lucky, and find more great opportunities on clearance, which is, I cleaned out most of the clearance yesterday from the stores we went to, so may have to look a little further. But look, it's all for the kids of Frederick County so they can start school with some new shoes, and we love that. All right, on today's show, I get to know Dr. Rachel Mandel. She is a part of my Rotary, and it is one of the pledges I made this year to try to interview as many of my key city Rotarians as I can, because I think they're very cool people and they're doing great stuff. Well, she, along with some other fine folks, have formed Trauma Responsive Frederick, and she tells me all about it. And I meet Rudy from Lytebox Photography. He is an amazing guy. He's got a great eye. He happened to snap 2 pictures of me right after our interview, and I'm going to share them with you. I put them on the interview you're going to see with him. I mean, just in 2 seconds, he captured a great, great photo. So I love that. And I'm not good with taking pictures. I'm very awkward with that. So anyway, he did a great job there. Bob Miller and Chris Michaels join me from WFMD's Morning News Express for your local news, weather, and sports. Plus, as always, I have giveaways and all the events for this week, and looking forward that you're going to want to mark on your calendar so that you save the dates. Also, I am putting together the survey that I will be sending out to you, or putting out to you to complete for feedback on our show, because the 100th show is coming up in August, and I'd love to hear what you guys want to see more of, what you want to see less of. Maybe some people you would like for me to reach out to interview. Maybe you want to be on the show if you haven't been on the show yet. I'd love to talk to you. And everybody says, oh, I don't have a great story. Like if you don't own a business, they say, oh, I shouldn't be on there. But I'm telling you right now, everyone has a story. And I think I'll be able to find it. So anyway, you're going to want to look out for that. That's going to be coming out soon. And if you'd like, on there will be an opportunity to send a video that we will put on the 100th show. And I would love for you guys to submit those as well. That's going to be a lot of fun coming up. Not too long. I can't believe it. Less than a month away. All right. Let's get this hump day started. want to thank our show sponsor. We help you move, whether you're moving across the street or across the country. Nicholas and his team of moving experts can make that process of moving easier and not maybe stress-free, because moving is completely stressful, but it will be less stressful knowing your stuff is safe and being taken care of. We Help You Move is veteran owned and an amazing supporter of the Frederick community. And I don't think Nicholas has been to Montana yet, so we've been putting it out there. If anyone is moving to or from Montana, he would love to visit there. And even on a quick turnaround, it's all good. All right. And, I think that Nick would maybe stay a few days, take a few days off. He's one of the hardest working guys that I know. All right, let's find out what's happening with local news, weather, and sports. Bob Miller and Chris Michaels join me from WFMD's Morning News Express with all of those details. Good morning. Are you panting?
Just made it.
Did you just run in? I know, I saw you pop in.
Just made it. I ran down the stairs. You had a pretty cool guest on there today, just at the end of the show. So running downstairs, and I got to say something real quick. The guest we had on is from Fox News Radio, and when he came on the show, when I introduced us, we had Sheriff Chuck Jenkins with us. He said, "Well, you guys need no introduction. I grew up listening to Bob Miller on WFMD, so big fan of Bob Miller's. There you go."
He did not say that.
I promise you, he did.
He said
he did, Bob. The volume was not all the way.
He has cousins in Frederick. That's
the
what he
volume wasn't all the way up on the phone. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it. Right. I love it. Well,
give me a job there, man. Give me a job. I want to make more money. Right? Good morning, Frederick and Dani.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, I'm not making anything right now. So there you go.
Well, we need to get those subscriptions up, subscribers to the channel, and then you become TikTok famous, you become YouTube famous, whatever that is. You make millions of dollars, and you go buy an island somewhere.
Yes. Well, I mean, I would love that. However, I don't even need to be TikTok famous or YouTube famous, but the 1,000 subscribers does mean that YouTube takes us a little more seriously and will push us out to more and more people. That's the most important part.
Well, you know what? To help you out, we'll just start taking off our clothes, because that's what happens, right? Okay, no, I'm sorry. Hold it. No, not my clothes. No, for goodness sake. Oh, my God. People will be stabbing their eyes out. Be like,
oh, man.
Oh, boy. Yes. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be doing that either. Nobody needs to see that. But I'm just saying, I will. At some point, though, I'm going to do whatever it takes almost to get these local businesses and nonprofits more exposure. But look, we've got a great tribe forming here at Good Morning Frederick. I don't know if you guys saw, but I hit 225 pairs of shoes. Went shopping yesterday with Mama Cone, and more donations, a couple more donations came in while I was shopping, so I'm going to shop again today. So I will definitely hit 230 and maybe even a little bit more. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great cause, and that was it was like something that Julie did a long time ago, where it was like almost like a women's gathering, and then it became this, this organic thing. And
14 years ago. 14 years ago, she had an idea. And this actually will be her last year. Now, Souls of Love will live on. She is actually talking to some people about taking it over. But, yeah, we'd really, really love to send her out this year with 5,000 pairs of shoes. We did it a couple years ago. We didn't do it last year. So we're hoping this year we're able to send her off with 5,000 pairs of shoes for kiddos here, which would be great.
That's what I love about this area, is the fact that, things like they just last over here. You got Christmas cash for kids too. Kemosabe Joe started off, handed off to Bob Miller. It's great. This community continues to support nonprofits and help in the community. That's why I love Frederick.
Oh my gosh, when I worked at Z104, there was nothing I loved more than Christmas Cash for Kids. It was awesome, and I'm so happy you guys have taken that on. And my gosh, you knock it out of the park every year. I'm excited about helping this year.
It'd be great. Come on over.
Oh, I will be there. Don't you worry.
Yep. And
Don't you worry.
we'll let you take the place of Chris. Make him go. We'll make him run down to Roy Rogers and get us breakfast.
I love it.
I'll be the coffee guy. I know exactly what Bob likes. He likes a Diet Coke, so I'll make sure I get that for him.
I do like my Diet Coke, and I will. That's a Christmas Cash for Kids is one of the few times. I'm not a big hot coffee drinker. I'm more of a cold coffee guy, a cold brew guy. With some Not in a Mets club, but I do like my cold coffee every now and then. So we make sure we get that caffeination going in the morning. So
I actually don't drink coffee, Chris. So we'll have to figure something out there. I'll come up with an order for you.
Hey, you know what? Whatever for you, Dani, whatever you want, I'll make sure I get it, even if it's a adult beverage.
Oh, okay. Well, a little bit early for that. But...
While raising money for the children, Dani slugs down a fireball.
Maybe we'll have the police come in and do that sobriety test during Christmas Cash, and I can get donations for every shot I have to take.
I think
that would be interesting radio, Dani.
Would do that and put Chris on top of like Dunkin' Donuts or Roy Rogers, and you gotta raise money to get him off of the roof.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes, it is.
We got something there. Maybe some of us might be putting in donations to keep him up there, but
Oh yeah. We save all the donations till Friday. I'm sorry, Chris, we've got nothing for you to come off the roof.
Just don't have me running in Speedos in like 20-degree weather, please. That's the only thing I ask.
That would be great. He has to put a tent up there and sleep up there overnight.
Me and my big mouth. I'm going to shut my mic off now.
I'm a promotions events person. My head is already going. I've got some great stuff. Oh, boy. All right. What's happening locally with news, Chris?
All right. Enough talk of me and my Speedos. Nobody wants to hear that first thing in the morning. Let's see here. So, again, another topic that's been talked about a lot, and Bob and I talk about on the show. Apparently, it looks like there's going to be some movement on the proposed downtown Frederick Hotel and Conference Center. A briefing on the project was presented on Wednesday to the Board of Aldermen. Excuse me, I'm sorry, losing my voice here. The facility will be located along South Carroll Street and contain 208 rooms and 21,210 square feet of conference center space, including ballrooms, pre-function, and breakfast space. There will also be a parking space, which will be open to everybody, not just hotel guests. Now, Pete Plumundon, the co-CEO of the Plumundon Hospitality Partners, which plans to build the facility, said the project is moving along. We've started pre-development costs. We're in for site plan approval this August, so we start the process with our engineers and architects to do that this summer. We're starting to socialize where the private equity will come from, he said. Construction is expected to start to begin around 2025. The Frederick County Health Department says a groundhog found last week at the Tasker's Chance neighborhood has tested positive for rabies. The groundhog turned up in a stormwater management pond near the Tasker's Chance swimming pool along Bel Air Lane. Animal control officers collected the groundhog on Thursday, July 18th at 9 p.m. after it attacked a dog earlier that evening. Yet another reason to leave your pets inside. The health department says anyone who has had contact with the groundhog or any other wildlife should get in touch with their healthcare provider and then contact the health department's community service office at 301-600-3342. If your pet has had contact with this groundhog or any wildlife, contact your veterinarian and call the health department's environmental health office at 301-600-1717. Just a reminder, rabies is a viral disease that once it's contracted by humans is nearly always fatal unless post-exposure treatment is administered. The virus infects mammals and warm-blooded animals, and it spreads through the saliva of infected animals, usually through a bite. Chris Michael is a scientist. There you go. Good information for you.
I mean, I just want to know who's hanging out with the groundhog. That's
right,
all I want to know.
Right.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, they're playing gin rummy, you know.
And no, for Christmas Cash for Kids, Chris Michaels is not going anywhere near a groundhog. I'm just saying. The Frederick County Health Department is holding a back-to-school vaccination clinics. They will take place from August 6th through September 11th. They're open to students who do not have health insurance, whose insurance does not cover vaccinations, or who cannot get the vaccine from their regular healthcare provider. The clinics are free, but families need to call and set up a time to attend. The number is 301-600-1733. Those with health insurance are encouraged to contact their healthcare provider and arrange for their children's vaccinations. Now, just remember, under Maryland law, children enrolled in pre-kindergarten through 12th grade must have their age-appropriate vaccinations. Students must have proof of these vaccinations before being allowed to come to school. And I will tell you, as a father of 2 kids, they will check. Take a look at the weather today. Generally cloudy, a stray shower or thunderstorms is possible. High 87. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Slight chance of rain, a rain shower. Tomorrow, cloudy with occasional showers for the afternoon. High around 85. So it's a lot cooler than it has been. And real quickly, before Bob gets into sports, because I know he won't mention this, I'm going to do my own little sports report. Yesterday, the Mets beat the New York Yankees in the Subway Series. So I'm very happy about that. I'll celebrate by taking coffee out of my Mets cup. Bob?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that don't be, I don't step in on your news. Don't be reining in on my sports, man. Just saying.
Stay in your lane.
Yes, right. The San Diego Padres blanked the Washington Nationals 4-0 on Tuesday night. Randy Vasquez pitched 6 innings to earn his first victory since June 22nd. San Diego has won 3 in a row. The Nationals, which had won 5 of 6, are 0-4 against the Padres this season. The Nationals were shut out for the 11th time this season. Orioles got doubled up by the Miami Marlins yesterday. They have slipped into a tie with Cleveland for the best record in the American League at 60-40. More bad news for the Orioles. They may have lost Jorge Mateo for a little while. He collided with shortstop Gunnar Henderson as they drove to catch a grounder off the bat of Sanchez, and it looks like he hurt his arm somehow. He will undergo an MRI today. Freddie Keys dropped the first of 4 against the State College Spikes Tuesday night, losing by 14-7 at Medlar Field in Lebrano Park. Keys had an early 5-2 lead after the first inning, and then a 10-run bottom of the 4th for the Spikes made the difference as the State College earned the series opener win at home against the Keys. And don't forget, today at 4 o'clock, ESPN Plus, it's those Brunswick Railroaders who advanced to the regional semifinals against the West Point Little League in softball action, 4 o'clock this afternoon.
That's awesome. Yeah, I might have to try to tune into that to see how they do. That's so exciting for them.
Yeah, right. I love when local teams go far, and I appreciate the hustle from those young ladies.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about
All
that?
right, gentlemen. Yep.
Frederick on the map because of police with On Patrol Live, and now because of youth baseball, and of course because Bob and Chris.
Well, I'm not sure the On Patrol Live is something we actually want to promote, but there you go.
Well, hey.
Well, that with the mayor was on yesterday and said that he hopes that they don't have to show us so often, or it shows how wonderful a city that we have and not as much crime, and that it's kind of like, smaller things.
Yeah, sleeper town.
Stuff.
We want to be the sleeper town on Patrol for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, you have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
I got one thing to say. Good morning, Frederick.
See you guys.
See ya.
Oh, my goodness. All right. I want to thank them so much for joining me each day to give you your local news, weather, and sports. The news today wasn't so terrible. The not so terrible news. That's what I'm going to get Chris a t-shirt that says that. All right, we do have some giveaways for you today. Each week, we give away 5 Maryland Lottery scratch-offs. We also have a 3-hour adventure ticket to Tree Trekkers and 4 tickets to any regular season Keys game. If you would like to go to any of those or win the Maryland Lottery tickets, just text me and just say, hey, Dani, I'd love to go to Tree Trekkers. You never know what could happen. 888-465-2944 is the number. You can text 24 hours a day. I'm not going to answer 24 hours a day, but you can text, and I will be sure to record your entry, and all winners are texted as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Then it's all the events in Frederick. Dr. Mandel talking about a resource for collective and personal traumas. And Rudy Marsh wants to take your photo. That's all coming up right after this.
Dream Free Art, Frederick's first and only splatter room. New location, new beginner-friendly artful shenanigans for all ages. Come fling paint and make a masterpiece in Dream Free Art Splatter Room, or join us for a fun and unique art experience. Book your next birthday party, corporate event, date night, or family outing at dreamfreeart.com to unleash your inner artist today. Dream Free Art. Free your creativity.
Elevate your next party with Dreamscape Slumber Events. Over 12 themes and customization available for kids, teens, and adults to enjoy. Don't have the space? We have solutions for that too. Search Dreamscape Slumber Events on Facebook.
The Crab Shop is open. Join Habitat for Humanity of Frederick County, Maryland for the 9th annual Blue Crabs and Blueprints celebration on Saturday, August 24th at the Walkersville Carnival Grounds. This family-friendly day includes crabs from JB Seafood, food trucks, live music, and yard games. This fun-filled day supports Habitat's home repair and home build programs, making a difference year-round right here in Frederick County. Crabs must be pre-ordered by August 19th, so don't delay. Get your crabs now for this Maryland-style crab feed.
Let's talk about the events here in our lovely town happening in Frederick. Happening in Frederick is sponsored by Intense Barbecue. Rob and Robin are amazing people, and they own this barbecue food truck and catering company. Remember, we met Rob while he was cooking for Urbana Fireman's Carnival. They have the catering company that can cook anything, doesn't have to be barbecue. They do cook in small batches to make sure that the food is the freshest it can be. Go to intensebarbecue.com. That's IN0 intensebarbecue.com. Satisfy your meat tooth. I'm telling you, food is amazing, and I still am a fan of the meat parfait. All right, if you want to know what's happening in Frederick, you know where to go. Go to promocircus.com. Easiest way to get to the calendar is click on Everything Frederick Live, which is the name of the YouTube channel, and click on the calendar of events. I did notice, I think we have 584 subscribers to our YouTube channel. So I would love to get to 600. I wonder, can we get to 600 by Sunday? I know you guys are awesome. Just tell a friend. Tell a friend to subscribe to Good Morning Frederick. Let's get to 600 by Sunday. That would be fantastic. All right, let's look at what is happening today. Oh my gosh, tons of events. As I've always said, there's more than enough happening here in Frederick to keep anyone busy. But certainly if you have people coming into town at any point in time, just check out this calendar and plan your weekend or week around that. All right. The Maryland double-decker bus is riding again today, 10:30 a.m. You can put the family on and get a little tour around Frederick. And you want to check marylanddoubledeckers.com for all the details. And they have many other dates, too. I need to keep adding them. They add new programming all the time, which I love. A little preschool prom at 10:30 from birth to 5. That is at the Myersville Community Library today. How fun is that? Aw, dress to impress. I would love to see the photos, the prom photos from that. How cute would that be? If you attend, let me know. I'd love to see a photo of your little ones there. All right, again, Wednesday today, Regal's Summer Movie Express, $1 movies. Great deal. And on a cloudy-ish day, no better place to go than the movie theater. Okay, we got more farmers markets. Jefferson's Farmers Market is this evening, 4 to 7 p.m. right on Lander Road. If you want to get your fresh stuff, you're going to want to go there. I'm telling you, summertime is just phenomenal for fresh produce and fruits. Oh, gosh, I just love it. I could eat my weight literally in fruit over the summer. Cherries and peaches and, oh, gosh, making my mouth water just thinking about it. I've had the best watermelon this year, too, which I'm so happy about because on TikTok, all those people were showing rubbery watermelon. Thankfully, we haven't encountered any of that here. I haven't. Dinner with the Doc is 6:45 this evening at the Common Market on Buckystown Pike. You can have, look at this, an evening of transformation. We love that. Bulletproof your immune system. Wow, I would love that. And I think that might be with Dr. Mimi from, I think this is her. I will have to check it out and see if that is. But that would be cool. They do a lot of great little classes and stuff at Common Market, both locations. Tomorrow, of course, is Alive at 5. WFRE is Country on the Creek at South Mountain Creamery. WFMD is Up the Creek from 3 to 6, right in front of Sweeties on the creek as well. And tomorrow at Alive at 5 is Over Soon. Oh, yeah, the Groovy Pop Group. Over Soon tomorrow. Hoping the weather holds up for that. That's just, it's always a waiting game with Alive at 5 when the weather is weird. So anyway, you can check that out. On Friday, there is the double-decked History Tour, 11 to 12:15 on Maryland Double Deckers. And that is pretty cool. You're going to get the history of Frederick. And you can actually, they leave from 51 South Market Street, the crosswalk area next to La Paz. That's kind of cool. So they'll pick you up right there and get you around Frederick. Oh, look, they're going to, Mount Olivet, Nimeo Field at Harry Grove, City Hall, Baker Park, Hood College, Schifferstadt, the Little Red Covered Bridge, Barbara Fritchie. How awesome is that? That's a great tour. And again, if you've never been around Frederick, if you're new to the area, it's just great to get a different view and learn some of the history of our great town that we love so much. Okay, Frederick Keys are home tomorrow versus Mahoning Valley. So if you've got those free Keys tickets that you won from me, all you have to do is take the vouchers to the box office, exchange them for tickets. You can do that for any regular season game. The great thing is I just give you a voucher, and it's good anytime you want to go. And then I am attending Souls of Love in the Garden, which is happening Friday evening. Julie will be doing the final tally, which really isn't final because shoes roll in, continued for the weekend and stuff. But we will know about where we are in that evening, and that's a great event. So it's sold out for this year. But next year, if you collect some shoes and become a sponsor, you can go. It's really, really fun. See What Sticks is an open stage that's at the Frederick Art Council After Hours series. That's at 5 East 2nd Street from 8 to 9 p.m. on Friday night. Then this weekend, let's see what's happening this weekend. Anything interesting? Let's see. Well, the Home of Everything Frederick is open, and you can go in and get your swag from Everything Frederick and Good Morning Frederick, as well as some really cool Maryland stuff, like if you need a Maryland flag or some socks. How about some Old Bay? Maybe you're putting together a care package for somebody. You can stop by the Home of Everything Frederick, and then we've got a ton of stuff from local artists. We've got Jill from Hammer Glamour just re-upped the inventory with some gorgeous rings and necklaces and keychains. So fantastic. If you haven't seen her stuff up close, you're going to have to check it out. Then we have the Moss Lady, who is going to be on the show tomorrow. Yes, she is. Yeah, she's going to be on the show tomorrow, and her stuff is fantastic. I love it. And then we've got, let's see, Candles by B&L. And let's see what else. Prints from Fran Byrne on metal, and some framed artwork, and some really cool companies that make things that benefit developmentally disadvantaged adults, and all kinds of great stuff. So if you need to, stop in the shop Thursday to Sunday. We are open, and you can check that out. The African American History Walking Tours happen on Saturday at 11 o'clock. You can check out the details for that at the it's the AARCH Heritage Center, which is at 125 East All Saints Street. And they do an informative tour of local history, which is cool. Let's see, Ariel Jordan, who I messed up her interview and cut off somehow in the middle. We're going to stream her full interview this week, but her book release party is Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. at 1448 West Patrick Street. So you can check that out. She is really fascinating, her kind of journey and how she's helping others as well. And let's see, Frederick Keys are home again on Saturday evening at 6 o'clock. And you can do some karaoke at Callahan's on Rosemont Avenue, and that is always fun. On Sunday, July 28th, it's the AmVets at the AmVets Farm. It's Pulling for Veterans Flea Market. Now, you can get a space if you would like one. They are $30 and benefits Pulling for Veterans. Or go shop. Right now, I think there's already 60 confirmed vendors. They have a food truck. They have stuff for the kids. If you want to get out and try to find some treasures from 9 to 3, you can do that on Sunday at the AmVets Farm right next to Tree Trekkers. And then, of course, Sunday evening is Celebrate Frederick's Summer Concert Series. So you can check that out. WFRE will be there from 5 to 7. And then, let's see, who is on this week? This week is the 28th. Sagamore Band is playing this Sunday at the concert in the park. And that's always so much fun. Take a picnic blanket, take the kids, maybe take a dog to hang out there. Also want to mark your calendars, July 31st at 4:30. We want you to go to Frederick Social, an event with the producers and actors for Boomtown. Frederick Social has been donating, or will donate, a portion of proceeds from all the sales in July to Boomtown. They are still raising money, but they are already starting to shoot. August 1st, the Distillery Dash to benefit Mount Olivet Historic Preservation. August 10th, if you're an actor, singer, or extra, or want to be an extra, from the African American community, they are shooting Boomtown on Saturday, August 10th from 10 to 2 at Asbury United Methodist Church. You can check that out. August 14th, Downtown Frederick's Night Market, coming back again for another month. Last month was so fun. It's from 5 to 8 p.m. I'm going to make everything, all Good Morning Frederick merch will be 20% off. So you're going to want to go buy your Good Morning Frederick merch on August 14th. August 17th is Climbing for a Cause at Tree Trekkers to benefit the American Cancer Society. And August 24th is Blue Crabs and Blueprints. All right, to get the links and details for all of those, just go to promocircus.com. If you want an event on the calendar, email it to everythingfredericklive gmail.com. All right, we're going to talk about who is doing good in the neighborhood. Doing Good in the Neighborhood is sponsored by Ori Custom Florals. Whether you're looking for a single flower order or flowers for an entire event, whether something classic or unique, you can rely on Ori to create florals reflecting your individual needs and style. How about a monthly floral subscription for you? Or it makes a great gift. Contact Ori now. You can go to oricustomflorals.com for all of the details. Dr. Rachel Mandel is part of a collective looking out for our community and to make Frederick stronger. They have launched Trauma Responsive Frederick, and she's here to tell me how they are helping to make us a better community. Of everything Frederick on Market Street with Dr. Rachel Mandel. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you because we're in the same Rotary,
We are.
Key City Rotary. Today we are talking about
Trauma Responsive Frederick.
Trauma Responsive Frederick. Okay.
Right.
Tell me when this was established and why.
So at the beginning of the pandemic, Inga, who is the executive director of Hartley House, Inga James, was kind of looking out into the community, and of course, being the executive director of Hartley House, she's very tuned into trauma in the community.
Right.
And looked at what was coming with the pandemic, and she said, there's going to be more trauma. So she started thinking about what we needed to do as a community to try and mitigate that trauma, prevent that trauma, and then how to better be able to respond to people with trauma. So there's actually a set of principles, a model called Trauma-Informed Practices. She started this collaborative back then at the beginning of the pandemic called Trauma Responsive Frederick. And the goal of the organization, which at that time was just a collaborative.
It wasn't even
wasn't even a 501c3.
just an idea, really.
It was just an idea
Yeah.
with a lot of passionate people.
Sure.
Just became a 501c3 this past December. But started talking to people about these concepts around how you interact with others who may have been traumatized, who have trauma in their history. What does that mean? How does that come out in somebody and their behavior? How do we help them be more resilient? How do we help them on their path of healing, understanding that everybody probably has something in their history, right? Everybody's got some kind of trauma. We've spent some time in this community talking about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and there are like 10 questions in a survey that you can ask yourself, did any of these things happen to me? And one of them is, are your parents divorced? Well, how many people does that apply to?
Yeah.
Right?
A lot.
Or are you, have you ever been exposed to verbal abuse or physical abuse? Anybody in your family with substance use disorders? Anybody in your family incarcerated? And all of
My
those
goodness,
things.
pretty, yeah.
Yeah, it touches a lot of people.
Yeah, I would say.
So when you think about kids being exposed to a lot of these traumas under normal circumstances,
Right.
And then you see the pandemic coming, and you know that on the level that we all experienced that, which was, by the way, a collective trauma.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay? People lost jobs. People lost family members. People lost homes. So you add all of those onto what's already the baseline, and you can understand why Dr. James felt like we really needed to address these issues.
It's very perceptive of her.
Right, and really think about it. So the group started talking about, how do we do that? And so the group's purpose is to educate, to advocate, and then to network or to bring people together for communication. Because there are actually a lot of services in Frederick County, but sometimes we don't know what other people are doing.
Right.
So the group meets once a month, and we have a collaboration corner as part of that every month, where somebody's presenting what they do. And I can't tell you how many times somebody else will say, I didn't know you did that.
Right.
I didn't know that service was available in Frederick County.
Yes.
So that's kind of one of the key things that we do.
Very interesting.
But really, it's the education in the community and having them kind of change the mental model from, and that's why I brought the book along, from looking at somebody who's struggling with a behavioral health issue or problem, and instead of thinking to yourself or saying even, what's wrong with you, okay, which is pretty negative, what's wrong with you, to shift that to, what happened to you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so when you go into an interaction, understanding that everybody has something, and then people have triggers, and you don't want to re-traumatize somebody, and you're thinking about, why are they behaving this way? What is there in their background that they went through, that they're made decisions or they're doing certain things that put them in this moment in this time? What happened to them?
Yeah.
Okay, and it makes you more empathetic. It makes it easier to kind of assist them on their road to recovery. It makes you and them more resilient.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get people to kind of shift their thinking.
That's great small change you can
Small
make.
change,
Yes.
right. So it comes out of this book.
Yeah.
This is by Bruce Perry, Dr. Bruce Perry, and Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
And the name of the book is What Happened to You. It is incredibly readable. Over the last couple of years, what the group has been doing is going into the community, talking to whatever groups want to talk to us about it. We do presentations, then we talk to them about trauma. What is trauma? What does it look like? What do people look like who are traumatized? And then we kind of customize it a little bit for them. So for example, we spoke to the chaplain's residency program at the hospital. So we talked about their role with their people, and then how they would come across something like that and what they could do to respond appropriately. We talked to the sheriffs, the supervisors at the sheriff's office. We've talked to faith-based organizations. We've talked to Rotary clubs.
Yeah.
So they're all different organizations that we have talked to, where we've kind of given them the general conversation and general information, talked about what it means to be trauma-informed, and then given them a little bit of extra for them that's kind of customized. We've actually put together a 1-hour training for the Frederick City Police Department's mobile crisis response team.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So that they can train their officers, and they want to actually use it for their academy as well.
Yeah.
Because it talks about, in their job, what does it mean to experience trauma through somebody else? And that's called vicarious trauma.
Okay.
People on the front line who are dealing every day with people who have traumatic experiences and who are, acting out or behaving in a certain way because of that. You eventually take that stuff home with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do they recognize that, and how do they deal with that? Besides, the difficult jobs that they do.
That's really interesting as well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we put together that training for them. We've done a workshop with businesses. We did a training with workforce development. We're actually going to be talking to behavioral health department at the hospital coming up this week. We're doing a presentation for the community stakeholders, health stakeholders through the Healthcare Coalition also this week. So really it's just getting that information out so that people hear it and they become familiar with it, and then they think about it.
Right.
And sometimes even the smallest of changes, make the most difference. If I have a moment, can I tell a story?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So we went and presented to Veterans Group,
Uh-huh.
the Veterans Advisory Group, actually the engagement veterans here in the community. And it was a virtual and an in-person meeting. And I went through the presentation with them, and we talked about this shift from, what's wrong with you to what happened to you. And one of the vets who was on virtually afterwards, at the end, started to tell us kind of his story a little bit. And he says that when he gets up in the morning, he has a little sticky note that he puts on his computer that says, "What's wrong with you?" And he says, and he puts it there because he knows, he didn't really know how to think about it, but he knows that when he goes through his day, that he needs to be aware that that he needs to pay attention to how he's responding or how he's behaving, when he interacts with people. That was
bringing it to the forefront for him.
Right, so he would just keep reminding himself that he needed to kind of be careful.
Right.
What he said to people, how he reacted, and things like that. So he said at the end, he goes, "I'm going to take that sticky note off," he says, "and I'm going to change it to what happened to you."
Oh.
So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
That's
to
okay.
hit that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it's kind of like that meme that goes around that you don't know what everyone is battling, right? Everyone has something.
Right.
And as a people, we're kind of self-centered. We're in our own space a lot of times. I think that question as well just makes you start to look outward a little bit and how you're impacting in a positive
Right.
and or negative way somebody else just
Yeah.
based on sometimes what you say. And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's really a really interesting, again, small change you can make. So when you say to somebody though, what happened to you, what if somebody starts to tell you? Like what
You don't
how,
actually-
what are we supposed to
You
do?
see, but you don't actually ask that question
Okay.
necessarily.
Okay.
You think
You
it
think
in your
it.
You think it in your head,
And then whatever comes
and it kind
out.
of changes
Right.
how you
Okay, good.
how you
Okay.
approach an issue or how you approach a
Gotcha.
problem.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you're just cognizant then to understand that instead of automatically going to what's wrong with you,
Right.
you're thinking in your head what happened to you, which will just change your whole demeanor
Right.
and maybe open yourself up to just being more caring,
Caring,
empathetic.
empathetic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
using empathy rather than defensiveness or whatever it is you're
Yeah.
dealing with.
Come and talk to us.
Yeah.
And kind of go through some of these ideas. People are incredibly receptive to the idea. They like
I would
it.
think so because, again, having all of us experienced one of those general things that you've mentioned. Well,
Right.
first of all, the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
We all went through that in some way, shape, or form. You had to give somebody 2 things they could do today. It's like 2 tips on ways to kind of just be more empathetic to someone else.
Sure. What I would recommend first is they think about themselves.
Okay.
Okay. So they think about their own background and why there's certain things that they do, certain decisions that they make, how potentially it could be related to things that have happened to them in the past, so that this concept makes more sense to them.
Gotcha.
And then for the people that are around them and the things, people they interact with, especially with somebody that they may have a difficult relationship with, think about what they've been through and how those experiences might impact the decisions that they make and the way that they behave, so that you can be more empathetic to them.
So walk a mile.
That's right. Walk a
Walk
mile.
a mile.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How can Frederick become involved or help or support what you're doing?
Understanding the concepts. If there's any organization or group that wants us to come and talk to them, they just have to go to the website and contact us. We'd be more than happy to work something out. This sounds really kind of trite, but donate.
Yeah.
Because even though pretty much everybody who's involved as a volunteer, there's still overhead. The goal is to make Frederick a trauma-informed community, which makes us more resilient. The goal is to do what we call training and technical assistance with businesses and government and organizations, where the organizations take a look internally and make sure that their practices and their policies are trauma-informed. So in addition to doing the education in the community with lay people and different groups, we really want it to go, across the whole scope of what
Yeah.
Frederick County is. And so if there's an organization,
Yeah.
a business that wants us to walk them through that process, so it's a little more engaged, obviously, than just doing an education,
Sure.
to the technical assistance with their policies, their procedures, their environment, safety-wise. Unfortunately, there are a lot of systems that can re-traumatize people unintentionally. We would be happy to do that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so people can go to traumaresponsivefrederick.org.
Correct.
And reach out through the contact us form. Look, this is really important information to know that you guys are out there and exist.
Yeah.
Businesses, organizations,
Right.
the corporate
Nonprofits,
side, nonprofit, for presentations or to help
Right.
with your day-to-day. We thank you so much.
My
I think this
pleasure.
is so interesting. And again, a small shift of what you're doing each day can positively impact hundreds and hundreds of people.
Without a doubt.
So let's do it. Let's be positive, Frederick. Let's change our way of thinking. We appreciate you so much, Dr. Mandel, and
thank
what you're
you.
doing. And I think it's really important for our community to remain strong no matter what happens.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. I want to thank Dr. Mandel. So interesting. Just a little shift in how you think can really have a great impact, for sure. All right, we're going to take one quick break, and then you're going to see the candids that Rudy took of me right after our interview and meet Rudy Marsh from Lytebox Photography, and that's coming up just after this.
All-in-One Events is Frederick's #1 source for event rentals and entertainment. Please visit us on the web at www.aioeventgroup.com or call 1-888-727-8902 for more information.
Shop is open. Join Habitat for Humanity of Frederick County, Maryland for the 9th annual Blue Crabs and Blueprints celebration on Saturday, August 24th at the Walkersville Carnival Grounds. This family-friendly day includes crabs from JB Seafood, food trucks, live music, and yard games. This fun-filled day supports Habitat's home repair and home build programs, making a difference year-round right here in Frederick County. Crabs must be pre-ordered by August 19th, so don't delay. Get your crabs now for this Maryland-style crab feed.
Oh, yes. Let me get this up there. A&S Construction, a local and award-winning woman and minority-owned business, and it's right here in Frederick. A&S Construction specializes in roofing and siding, but can also take care of anything the exterior of your home needs, like windows and gutters, or a patio and a deck. Do you need one? I mean, nothing is better than sitting out in your backyard on your patio or deck. I can tell you for sure it is my favorite part of this house is our covered porch out back. They can also take care of pretty much whatever you need. You want to reface your siding, change your house a little bit? No better way to do it. Call A&S Construction, 301-703-2157, or email Sandra, info@ansconstruction.net. Visit them on the web at ansconstruction.net. We love that Sandra is a woman in the trades doing very well. She's got a full team of people ready to help you transform your home. And right now, you can get $750 off any roof or siding replacement or $50 off any roof repairs. Contact Sandra today and let her know that I sent you, and she'll take great care of you. I promise you that for sure. All right, let's talk about who's making our Frederick market stronger. Market Makers is sponsored by the Healing Storm. Shannon and her team strive to create an environment where you're seen, heard, and valued. If you've got any issues at all, maybe you're stressed, maybe you got some back pain, neck pain. I know that those are the things that usually affect me. The Healing Storm can help with alternative holistic healing methods. They've got massage therapy, Reiki, lymphatic massage, and they have a whole healing journey program. Check out healingstorm.com for the details and to schedule an appointment. Also, Shannon is releasing some oils. What do she call them? They're fused with like I had the lavender oil used on my massage last time. So relaxing. Infused oils. And I think we're going to be selling them at the Home of Everything Frederick sometime here soon. But anyway, she's getting all of that together. As soon as she has that out, I will make sure and share that with you. The Healing Storm, a place to unwind. I love it. Rudy Marsh has been taking photos since he was a young man. And we'll hear about how he took photos without any film. And not that he's not young anymore. He has made his way taking photos of athletes and sports, but he'd love to start to focus on doing portraits for people. During this interview, I show the photos he snapped of me right after our interview, and I think they're absolutely amazing. I'd like to introduce you to Rudy Marsh, Lytebox Photography. I'm sitting here with Rudy from Lytebox Photography, right?
That's correct, yes.
Right, Lytebox Photography. I actually saw you at a lot of Flying Cows games. Were you at a few this year, right?
I was, but my intern actually shoots for them. And she is
I saw her.
Yes,
Okay.
EA Pixels, that's her name. She is a great photographer. She basically helps me out whenever I need it for a lot of jobs that I have, and I'm trying to help her with her process of getting to the next level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's very nice of you to do that.
Yeah, well, I love what I do, and I want to bring as many people to this profession as possible because it's a creative outlet that allows you to kind of communicate with the world, you know, what's in your head, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, so you really look at the photos you take are an extension of you, how you're seeing that moment?
Absolutely. Most of the time the reason why I'm in sports now is because I look at these kids as my superheroes, right? Because they are dynamic. They're, very athletic, very driven, and I want to bring the best out of them in the pictures, So that's why I do sports.
Yeah, I think those photos, I think that actually works. I think that actually, the photos I've seen that you've taken, I think you do capture that essence.
I try, yeah.
And in those athletes, and not even. I think I loved the way you took the photos for Frederick Lifestyle of the flying cows.
Yeah, it's a different perspective. I'm a kind of a grungy type of person, so I like kind of dark and lifelike, feelings, right? So whenever I take pictures, I try and bring out just the person, not the scenery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I enjoy that very much. I like working with Frederick Lifestyle because they were so awesome. I mean, every chance they get, they call me and give me another opportunity, which I'm absolutely surprised when they call me again. So.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised because I'll tell you about the pictures for the flying cow. So I was their MC this year.
Okay.
And got to know the players pretty well, Coach Ed pretty well. What you captured in the individuals was just so interesting to me because it really did tell the personal story rather than the teammate story, right? So
exactly.
It really captured the individual on their own right. And I think that's really interesting how you did that.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that because that's what I was trying to do. I don't like, it to be very obvious as to what's happening. I wouldn't mind somebody reading into the picture, looking at the picture and saying, oh, well, I know that guy's story almost just by looking at him, And I wanted to make sure that I gave them the opportunity to be themselves too.
Yeah.
I know that Kristen from Frederick Lifestyle, she gave me, some input as to what she wanted and she allowed me to do kind of what I wanted to do. So,
yeah, she's good at directing,
Yeah.
but good at also letting you do your craft in the
yeah.
way you see it. So she's very good at that as well. So you started in photography because your mom got you a camera.
Oh, yeah. So that was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my age, of course.
Well,
but,
I'm right there with you. It's all good.
But she gave me a camera, and believe it or not, at the time, I couldn't afford the film. So I would pretend to shoot pictures, with this camera that didn't have any film.
Oh, wow.
So whenever I became of age to make my own money and all of that stuff, I started buying film, and I already knew kind of how to operate the camera because of those clicks that I was doing with the camera. So anyway, my passion started back then because I used to love National Geographic and Sports Illustrated, all of those different magazines, and it kind of stuck with me the whole time. So whenever I had the opportunity to build on that, that's what I did with photography.
Yeah, that's very good though. You kind of established this foundation of technique without even, seeing the results, which is really interesting because your imagination probably were capturing those moments. And
I was
how
doing
you
my best.
visualized it. Yeah. Excellent. So you kind of fell into the sports realm of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So initially, I started out with my cousin. We started this together, and he's since then moved on. I think around 2015 or so. And at that time, we were trying to, develop a portrait graphic design type of company, but it didn't quite work out that way because we got pulled more to sports, right?
Yeah.
And we would get portraits every now and then, and that wasn't really helping very much, right?
Yeah.
So we decided to just go full in on it. And when he left, I just kind of took the reins of it and just tried to develop it into something that I really wanted it to be. So
Yeah. And at the beginning, you were working full time, you told me.
Yes.
You're an engineer.
Yeah. I was working for a company called Northrop Grumman. I don't know if you knew.
Yes.
But they created some air traffic control equipment, and I worked international for almost 12 years. And my wife came to me and she said, hey, look, you got to get off the road. And that's when I decided to take a different job as a project manager for a test equipment company, and I stayed there until about 2015.
Yeah.
And I decided not to go back into that profession.
Yeah.
It was a little stressful.
Yeah. And, you know, I think life tells us sometimes that a change of direction is sometimes going to do you good.
Absolutely.
You know, I think a lot of us think about, oh, the money, the benefits, the this, the that, but when it all comes down to it, I think we realize the most important things are family, you know, and being around for a long time.
Absolutely.
So,
it's not worth your health.
no, it's not worth your health. Nothing is worth your health. Is there any one or any kind of thing that you haven't photographed yet that you'd really like to?
Well, no, actually.
That's pretty good.
I'm not going to say I photographed everything, but I like people, so I try and stick with different personalities. So I'm not into famous people. I don't like that because those people, they already have a following. I like to meet people and make them the star of that particular moment. You know what I mean? So as I was telling you earlier, the kids that I take pictures of are the kids or people that I lived through. You know, they are the superstars for me at the moment, and I want them to continue to be that. So if I take a picture of them, I want them to have that picture and look back on it and say, hey, that was me in that photo. So it kind of gives them self-esteem and it gives something back to me.
And I think it's important when you, as a third party, are able to capture something, and especially a child or an athlete. You know, their parents probably have taken a bazillion photos of them, but they're looking at it through a totally different lens, literally and figuratively. I think when somebody else comes in, again, I think people go, that's how someone else is viewing me.
Yes.
And being a focus or central point, I think is really, really interesting.
Absolutely. And I do a couple of political figures here in Frederick, and I enjoy that. But it also brings me back to being personable. I don't like doing a lot of group photos, and that's why the school thing really isn't really meshing with me too much, because you know, when you have multiple kids that you have to take pictures of, you can't really develop a personal connection to those kids, right? But whenever I'm one-on-one with them, I can, you know, kind of develop something that I wouldn't normally see in a photo. You know, so
how do you get your subjects to relax?
I let them be themselves. I don't want to direct anybody to do anything. I think most photographers are kind of like that. They have we're like-minded people, so we want to catch the moment as it happens. We don't want to direct them to be this or that.
Right.
If you pose a person, most of the time you're not getting that person. You're getting what you want. You know. So
I know. I'm terrible because I always ask, what should I do with my hands? I'm very awkward. But
most photographers have to pay attention too. I mean, you look and observe, you know, the person and their demeanor, and then you try and, you know, put that in the photo.
And I feel much more relaxed if I'm just doing my thing.
Absolutely.
The photo is captured rather than sit here and be natural. Because
I do
then
understand
I'm not.
that. I understand
I don't feel
that.
like I'm being natural. But
right. I understand that completely. But you know, most of the time, believe it or not, I don't like taking photos either. You know,
having photos taken of you.
Oh my goodness, this right here is scary to me.
I know
right?
you said.
But you know,
we each have our thing, I guess.
We do. But I love being behind the camera, and I love capturing moments for other people. So,
So where can people reach out to you if they'd like for you to come take their picture?
Well, I'm mainly on Instagram, but I do dabble in Facebook. So Lytebox Photography is the only one to spell Lytebox. So, and that's the reason why we did it that way, because we wanted to be separate from the normal way that you would spell it, right? Everything else was taken up .com, right? So we
got
had to
creative,
right?
And there you go.
We had to come up with something different.
Do you have any goals that you'd like to achieve this year?
I am trying to be more of a portrait photographer.
Okay.
I want to hone in my skills for that and still develop some personal connections with sports figures here in Frederick. I am really trying to develop the certain organizations and helping organizations here in Frederick that helps underprivileged kids.
Okay.
So that's something I want to get more into. I love, being able to provide to people who can't really afford it.
Sure.
So.
Well, I think that this is what the nonprofits need to do, is you need to get more creative, where you may not be able to write a check. You may be able to introduce you to work through somebody else that is paid handsomely, that makes up for
I like that
free stuff that you're doing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
No, really.
Yeah.
It's like getting a corporate sponsor
Yes.
to help fund
Yes.
your photos by
Absolutely.
getting the work paid through them. That's
like
what
that.
I would like to see, because I think even for me, same thing. Can you MC an event? I'd love to.
Right.
I'd love to support it.
Yes.
Eventually I'd love to get paid for all of that
Right.
sort of stuff.
So you're in the
But
same
there
boat.
are other, but there's other ways. So what I always offer is, hey, can you trade with somebody that has something that I would like?
Yeah.
Maybe some gift cards to here, or maybe it doesn't have to be cash.
Right.
Get creative though. Don't
Yeah.
just ask for free. See what you can offer and see what you can put forth.
I'm
'Cause-
absolutely all about the bartering.
Yeah, and
you know.
you're talented, and that your talent should be paid for. So you are looking for things like headshots, senior portraits, those sorts of things?
All of those kind of
Okay.
things. And I really loved working with the downtown political groups because, like I said, I like to maintain a connection. Those connections lead to other connections,
Sure.
right? And that led me to quite a few small businesses here in Frederick that I wouldn't normally have access to.
Yeah, well, we hope you get access to lots more of them.
Thank you.
Check out Rudy, Lytebox, Lytebox, Lytebox Photography. You can look him up on Instagram and even Facebook and on the web, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. And you can book his services if you want amazing portraits. This is where you got to go.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
I appreciate you sharing your platform
Yes.
with me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. We thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. All right, want to thank Rudy. How great were those pictures? He just snapped them right after our interview. He's very, very talented, and you would be super lucky to be able to get your photos taken by him. So if you're looking for a new headshot, or maybe family portrait or something like that, maybe your work photo that you need, reach out to Rudy. All right, coming up tomorrow, you'll meet the Moss Lady, Judith, who has created some amazing pieces you can see at the home of Everything Frederick. Also, Dave Zidelis from Visit Frederick joins me, and Ariel Jordan. The interview in its entirety, I promise. That all is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And a reminder, we've got the Good Morning Frederick podcast available wherever you listen to your podcast. Please tell a friend about Good Morning Frederick. We would love to get to 600 subscribers by Sunday, if possible. Can't do it without your help. So share and recommend. Have a great day. Get out there and be great, Frederick.
From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view. There's something special here, you feel it. Good morning, Frederick. Rise and shine. A city so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view. There's something special here, you feel it too. Your whole state